As the chairman of the Senate Commerce Subcommittee on Manufacturing, Trade, and Consumer Protection, I welcome all of our participants in this hearing today. The hearing is entitled Examining the Impact of COVID-19 on the Live Entertainment Event Industry. The subcommittee will now come to order. As covered in this subcommittee's previous hearing on manufacturing community's response to the pandemic, COVID-19 continues to negatively impact many industries and businesses throughout the American economy, and another industry among its hardest hit is the live entertainment sector. Due to airborne transmissions of COVID-19, many states and localities have implemented bans on large gatherings of people. This has placed, obviously, a tremendous strain on the entertainment sector, which relies on the gathering of large groups of people for concerts, live sports, plays, comedy shows, movies, and many other forms of entertainment. Companies in this sector have been forced to largely cease operations during the pandemic, leaving these businesses without revenue or alternative means to replace it. Without crowds to perform for, entertainers, venues, and downstream vendors have been forced to furlough staff they typically employ during a concert season. Without stages to light and set up, lighting companies and stagehands have been out of work since March. Without entertainers and event goers to transport, many bus drivers and public transport companies have been largely off the road for months. And without concerts and other events to facilitate, independent venue operators and owners have been without revenue for much of the past year. These are just a few examples of ways the live entertainment industry sector has been affected this year, which we will hear more about from our witnesses today. Back in March, Congress passed the CARES Act, which included a number of provisions to help employers of all types, including live event entertainment businesses, weather the pandemic. Small Business Administration's Paycheck Protection Program provided employers funds to continue paying their employees and cover some business expenses. Other programs meant to help employers and their employees are the Main Street Lending Program and the Economic Development Administration's Recovery Assistance Grants. For many categories of businesses, these programs were ineffective tools. But these programs under the CARES Act did not adequately benefit the live event entertainment sector. This is why I and many of my colleagues have introduced and sponsored the Save Our Stages Act, which would authorize the Small Business Administration to make grants to eligible live venue operators, producers, promoters, and talent representatives to address the economic impacts of COVID-19. This would offer the struggling businesses a lifeline to continue operations until they can return to doing what they love, entertaining Americans. There are a number of other legislative proposals, including the Restart Act, that work to address the needs of the live event sector, and I encourage my colleagues to work to ensure this industry is supported in the ongoing negotiations around a Phase 4 COVID relief package. I should also point out that there is a ripple effect on the economy when live entertainment industry is out of work. Restaurants, bars, transportation, and many other businesses that thrive on live events bringing people to a community from surrounding areas are hurting. This means that when lights are dark in the local live event venue, the economy in that community as a whole is also dark. I look forward to hearing from our witness panel today that will provide a variety of different perspectives to this important issue. Joining us today is Mr. David Fay, the President and CEO of Bushnell Center for the Performing Arts in Hartford, Connecticut. Mr. Adam Hartke, owner of the Cotillion and Wave in Wichita, Kansas. Mr. Ron Lafitte, President of Patriot Management in Los Angeles, California. And Mr. Pete Pantuso, President and Chief Executive Officer of the American Bus Association from Bradford, Pennsylvania. And Mr. Michael Strickland, owner of the Bandit Lines in Knoxville, Tennessee. Finally, a number of organizations representing a multitude of entertainment industry interests have provided written testimony for the record, which describes the hardships that their portion of the industry is facing, with recommendations for how Congress should act to address these issues. I would ask unanimous consent that these letters be submitted into the record. Without objection, so ordered. With that, I will turn to the ranking member, who will join us in about 5 minutes. I also understand the chairman of the full committee, Senator Wicker, would like to have opening remarks as well. Senator Wicker?